Hey there, welcome to our channel. Let's continue with our series. So in this episode, we're going to discuss about the cart and orders. In the previous episode, we have covered how we can hook up our backend with the front-end code. And we have explained a little bit about the front-end components and how all the things are working. And we just try to run the application, and we have seen how we can become a seller and how we can add and how we can create a product and how we can update all the product stuff and etc. But still, there are a lot of things we need to cover. But in this episode, we are not going to focus all of the stuffs. Especially this episode is dedicated to cart and orders, where we are going to discuss about how the order system gonna work and how we can create cart and order system like a big e-commerce application, right? So building the cart and the order system of an e-commerce platform is a critical component. It's a really important component of the whole e-commerce application. You can say it's a kind of check gate, all right, of the whole the customer journey while you are going to collect the payment, right? So where you are going to collect the business, right? So that's why you need to focus a little bit more on the cart and the order section. So in order to accomplish the whole journey in terms of right after browsing the product selection, right? So let's dive into together how we can create the cart and order system and what are the hurdles or what are the roadmap or what are the options we have as of now. So that is we are going to discuss, right? So let's assume we are building like the big platforms, just like Amazon, eBay, or maybe some of the big e-commerce platform around the world, where the user is going to select the product and they are going to view the price and they can add all the items to the wish list as well, right? Because sometimes what happens, the customers don't want to buy all the stuff right away. Maybe they're adding to the wish list. So at their convenient time, sometimes they are going to come back and they can order the item, right? So in this case, how we can handle all those scenarios? And let's say we want to buy all these items, but I need some time to review, or let's say I just want to show all these items to my friend, like just for a suggestion. As an example, I want to buy a t-shirt, but I want to show that particular thing to my friend, just like, hey, how this t-shirt is going to look like. So if you're gonna say like, yeah, it's going to be cool, look like, right, and maybe I can change the t-shirt, maybe something else, all right. So this is how we are going to handle all the scenarios we will see, right? Now let's dive into this diagram, like how the cart systems are working, right? So while it comes to the building a kind of cart system, then there are two ways we can refer. One is the monolithic architecture, one is the microservice architecture. So I believe like already you guys know how the microservice and monolithic architectures are working, right? So if you are not clear about it, and I would suggest like go some of my playlists already. I have explained how monolithic and microservice architecture are working and what is the benefit of go with the microservice and monolithic, and when we need to go with that particular architecture. That is also I have explained maybe somewhere, right, in my channel. But anyway, we don't want to deviate to that particular topic. So how monolithic architecture is working in terms of the cart, all of the component, all of the functionality in terms of like cart, order, payment, shipping, everything is tied up together. So that means you are not going to find the complexity while you are going to build this kind of system. In terms of like cart and order and shipping, everything is sitting next to each other, right? So you can add the item to the cart, then you can collect payment, then you can create order, then you can ship the order items, right? But that's not the reality which is we are going to build, right? Because these days, nowadays, if you're going to build something, as an example, very simple cart system, you need to keep the flexibility. So at least you can scale your application at any point of time. Like while, let's say Black Friday, people are, a lot of the e-commerce website, they're receiving the traffic, a lot of traffic. In terms of like in my company also, we are just preparing for Black Friday, right? So this is really, it's a normal use case for e-commerce, right? So in that scenario, let's say if you are building the whole thing in monolithic way, then you will receive a lot of traffic. Maybe your cart system is one functionality of the cart system is not working. So then you cannot place the order. Eventually, people are not going to be able to see the the shipping items as well as, because your application is broken, right? Because this whole thing is only one single module in terms of, right? So one of the steps are failing, then everything is going to fail, right? So that is the exactly drawback of the monolithic application. But I'm not going to say every monolithic has the same principle, but if you are clever enough, if you are going to modularize all of the components in different way, maybe this situation will not going to happen at all, right? In another way, you can build the whole system in the microservice architecture. So where generally it's preferred by the large e-commerce platforms, just like, eBay, Amazon, or maybe some other platforms, right? And those platforms they're just segregating all these services in different units, right? Different microservices. As an example, the cart is a microservice, right? Or order is a microservice. The collect payment is a microservice, right? Shipping order item or delivery is a microservice, right? So there are 4 microservices are handling the whole customer journey just only for this segment, right? So maybe you can imagine like throughout of the whole journey, from the product selection, right, listing the catalog or categories, everything to finish it out, all of the whole way in terms of like the whole customer funnel, you can say, how many microservices going to be accommodated to get the job done, right? So that's a different topic, but I'm saying this kind of complexity also can come to the picture, right? But we can fix that riddle, right? So this is the way, also another way with the help of microservice way you can create this cart system, right? So now let's try to understand one by one all of these scenarios, right? So first of all, let's go with a very simple cart system. As an example, right now we have cart, right? So we are browsing our product items and we are adding to the cart, and we are preserving all of the items, all right, in the cart items in the front end as a form of the states, right? Maybe global states, or maybe in the memory also we can just keep it out, right? And while the customer will be continue, all right, then we're collecting the payment, right? So where our payment gateway is going to play the role, right? Collecting the payment information in terms of the card or net banking or maybe PayPal, right? Then once we have collected the payment successfully, right, then we are going to transfer all of the card items, push all of the card items to create an order, right? So that means while we are creating the card, we are not sending any data to the backend at all, right? We are just preserving in the front end in a basic way, very basic way, right? And then we're just creating the order, and by sending all of the card items from the front end to create an order, right? And once the order has been placed, then ship the order items, so on and so forth, right? But this is not the ideal case. Like this is very rarely going to use or maybe if someone don't know about how the cart systems are working, they are doing like this way. But in the general way, what we are going to do, we are not going to preserve all of this stuff in the front end, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to store all of the items, all right? As soon as you are going to add these cart items, let's say, I'm gonna do like this, right? So here, we're going to store all cart items in the backend, right? In database, right? So that means while you are going to add any item to the cart, then we are going to store all of the items to the database in the backend, right? By calling simply just the call add to cart API, let's say, right? Then what we are going to do, we're going to collect the payment, right? There's nothing to do with any card or something, right? Then once the payment has been collected, all right, then if it is going to say like, successfully successful payment, let's say success, all right, then success, then what we're going to do, then all of the stored items, it is going to transfer to the order, right? So you can say it is going to transfer to the order, right? So this is this card transfer to order, right? All right, the card items transfer to order, card items transfer to order. So this is the way, what kind of flexibility we are gaining. As an example, you are adding item to the cart, right? And you don't want to place the order right away. You want to show your cart items maybe to your friends or maybe to your girlfriend or someone else, right? Just to confirm, make sure like you are ordering the right items, right? So in this case, let's say you have logged in with your desktop, maybe web browser, right? Then you can you can use the same login, right? And you can get all of the items in your mobile phone as well as, right? From a different device, right? And that device will be show all of the cart items that is already been stored in your web browser, right? Because those are the cart items going to store against of your account only, right? And at the time, you can just fetch all the data and you can make some changes right there, as well as then you can place the order. But in this case, right before placing the order, it is always going to confirm like, is your cart item has been updated or not, right? So if you have updated cart, then only all the updated cart items going to be placed the order, transferred to the order, right? It's going to happen right after successful payment from here. Right? I know it's little bit look like mess, but you can imagine if you are understanding the problem, where what kind of problem it is there, right, in the normal way without calling this API. Because as soon as you're adding the cart item to your web browser, then it is going to store in that particular web browser only, right? And maybe in the local storage or somewhere. But as soon as you are logging to another device, then you will be not get that particular all of the cart items right there. So that's why we are just storing all of the cart items in the database in the backend side. And while we are going to place the order, right, then we can fetch all of the updated cart items, or as soon as we are collected payment, right after successful payment, right, then we can place the order straight away from there without calling any APIs for right here from our front end, right? And this is the way the order is being created. And another approach, right? This is the one of the very common approach, all right? And another approach is just like, while we are just creating the cart, then the big companies, they are using some kind of like e-commerce managing tools, right? So they're handing over all of the cart items to that particular tools, because while we are adding the cart items to the to our application, all right, this is going to store in our own application. But once we are placing the order, that there's nothing to do with our application. That is, we are just transferring to some tools where our salespeople can see that particular order, right? And they have some kind of automated process, right? Every step of the order movement, in terms of like order has been updated or order cancel, because order can be canceled by customer also, right? Then we need to notify to our salespeople like, hey, this particular order, this cart has been created and placed the order, and order has been canceled, right? Then how we can do that? Because there is a kind of lot of mechanism, a lot of things you need to build just to achieve that particular thing, right? But that kind of situation, to get rid of that kind of situation, a lot of big companies, they're using some kind of tools. As an example, very famous tool, you can say Fluent Commerce, right? So or commerce tool, right? So all of these tools are being used just for automated the order system, the cart system, and etc., right? So now let's try to understand how we can achieve the cart system in another way, right? So let's assume we have here, right? Again, we are going to add the cart, let's say cart item, right? Then cart item has been added, like a customer has added some item to the cart, right? And as soon as the cart item added right here, right? Then we're going to, as soon as customer are going to continue, let's say continue to place order, right? Then straight away what we are doing, we are just creating the order. Right, we are creating the order. And after that, what we are doing, right? So we are collecting the payment, let's say here. Collecting the payment, right? Collecting payment, right? Then what we are going to do, once we have collected the payment, let's say here, this create order is happening, and here we have our order ID, let's say AABC, let's say 1, 2, 3. Right, it's a kind of like order ID as an example. And while we are going to create the order right after continue place order, right after the created the cart, then what we are doing here, the payment status, let's say, or maybe order status in progress, let's say. Order status in progress, right? Then while we have collected the payment, right? Then what we are doing here, we are just simply updating this data. It says like order confirm, right? And I'm gonna tell you why some of the companies, why some of the e-commerce companies are doing like this way, right? I'm going to tell you just in a second. So here in the collecting payment, if anything's going wrong, let's say payment fail or something, this order is not going to confirm. Let's say order fail, right? But you no need to create again to the cart or again to place the order. So what we are going to do, let's say in this case, while payment is going to fail, or maybe order is not be able to continue, then from here, right? Then from here, we're going to notify to the customer, let's say, hey, you have one order that is ABC 123. The order is not been successful, right? Please proceed with your payment, right? Then again, you no need to go to the browsing the cart and placing the order and review the order items, because we have all of the order items beforehand. So we have created the order for you. We have the order ID right here, and only the status is not updated because we have not collected the payment, or we have not received the payment, right? So at this point, maybe customer can cancel the order as well, as that's up to him, right? But you have the possibility where you can, once you have collected the payment, you can update the status. If the payment has been collected successfully, then order status is, let's say, success. Let's say received. And maybe in the next step, as soon as the order has been shipped, then you can say order delivered, or order is on the way, or something like that. So this kind of mechanism also going to help you out to make it interactive little bit with the users, right? It's up to you to which way you are going to follow, right? Now, if we take a look at the microservice architecture, you can see how the cart systems are built right here. You can see our user is interacting to the cart service with the help of the API gateway. So while our user is reaching to all the services, then API gateway is going to help you out to reroute all the services by simply reaching out just like /cart, /payments, /products, right? So each service can be reachable with the help of some kind of the prefix, right? And now you can see once the user is try to browse any kind of products, then user is going to visit this product page where we can display the catalogs with the help of some kind of a search engine. As an example, Elasticsearch, we are fetching it out all the items from our inventory service. So inventory service is the service like where all of the products, all of the categories are residing, and the seller service is taking control of like creating all the product items in the inventory. So as soon as while our cart service is it's adding to the cart to the items, then definitely cart service need to verify that particular item or product is exist in the inventory. Is it the stock is available to fulfill the cart, fulfill the order, right? So that is the thing where you can see there's a kind of weak connection. We are keeping it out. It can be possible with the help of some kind of notifications, or maybe with the help of message broker as well as, or maybe REST call also can be possible. And the other way, while our cart service is placing the order, right? Then what it is doing, it is simply transferring all the cart service items to the order service. You can see there's a kind of another weak link. This kind of dash links are those are the links. Just like you can say, it's a kind of message broker connections, right? So simply firing some kind of events to notify the order service. Hey, order service. So these are the items you need to create an order from the cart, right? And as soon as you are placing the order, all right, then the user has to visit this payment link, right? From the cart service itself, like it is going to provide that particular payment link. You can see API gateway is still supporting that /payment. Then as soon as user is visiting this payment link, then payment service is taking control from there. And payment service is initiating one kind of payment to the payment gateway. It can be any payment gateway, and the payment gateway can talk to the user bank, right, with the help of the card, net banking, or maybe some other way around. And as soon as you are receiving the payment in the payment service, then as I showed here in this diagram, you can see right after placing the order, right, it is creating the order, and then it is moving forward to the collect payment. The similar way, right after placing the order, then payment service is going to update the status of that particular order, right? It is simply going to fire some kind of message from the message broker, gonna say, hey, order service, please update this order ID and the payment. We have collected this payment, right? And this is the way order service is going to end up with the receiving the final order. And then the shipping service and rest of other workflow will be continued from here. So now you understood like how this microservice also going to handle whole cart system with the help of different services tied up to communicate together, right? And you can see this is very simple one, right? So let's focus on this simple one first. Then we are going to tackle it like the a little bit more advanced way. Then in later stage we are going to cover this one, right? All right, then that's all for this episode. In the next episode, straight away we are going to jumping into the code.